Namaste. My name is Declan Quigley of Anamnaska Shamanism.
Namaste, and I'm Eileen McCourt, spiritual author and teacher.
Today we'll be looking at some of the questions that you've sent in relation to what we've spoken about in this Nature Of series. And we'll begin with Eileen.
Yes, Declan, I have a question here about forgiveness, which we didn't really touch very much on. Forgiveness is a very, very, very vital part of our spiritual path. And we must remember that if we forgive and when we forgive, as we should be doing, we're actually relieving ourselves of the pain and hardship. For example, Declan, if I'm sending out anger to you, I'm the one who's suffering. I'm carrying that pain and that trauma. So when I forgive and release that, I am releasing the pain from myself. Because after all, you aren't even aware that I'm sending you anger. I'm the one who's suffering. So when we forgive, we release ourselves from that emotion and that trauma, and we free ourselves.
So again, this is taking responsibility for our own spirituality, our own energy, and releasing that energy.
Yes. Because when we send anger out there to anyone else, we're increasing and we're adding to the toxicity. Toxic fumes already out there. And anger will never diffuse hatred or anything else. Only love, unconditional love, will diffuse or end or transmute another person's hatred or anger. Anger will not end somebody else's anger. We can't tooth for tooth and eye for eye. Well, what is that going to happen? The whole world's going to end up blind and toothless. That's all that's going to do. It doesn't work. You can only transmute someone else's anger with sending them unconditional love.
I have a question here from Roseanne from Yorkshire. Roseanne, if you're listening, you're asking why someone from Ireland is practicing shamanism. Well, basically, shamanism in its very nature is a universal entity. It has developed through every culture almost in the world. Not only in a Native American culture, South American culture, but here in Ireland, we've had our own take on a shamanic approach. The word shaman actually is from the Tungus tribe in Siberia. So that's just a catch-all phrase. But the spirituality inherent in shamanism is universal and related to every culture. Yourself in Yorkshire, for instance, you have a very particular take on shamanism, and that is developed through centuries of work, because shamanism is the oldest spiritual discipline known to humanity. And in Ireland, it began with what Michael Tazarian calls the aria, and of course the aria has been used very derogatory, has been used very negatively by the likes of the Nazi regime and things like that. But fundamentally, the aria were the first shaman in Ireland. They built the standing stones, New Grange, and all those aspects. So it's very particular to this island. Eileen?
I've got someone here, yes, asking about love, how love works, how unconditional love works. Well, there's really only one kind of love, and that one kind of love is unconditional love. Love has nothing to do, unconditional love, has nothing to do with Valentine cards and Christmas cards and birthday cards and presents. Those are simply, if you like, physical, material tokens of your feelings for someone. But the only kind of real love is unconditional love. And unconditional love means that you have to have it for yourself, first of all. I see myself as the beautiful spiritual being I am, and therefore I don't criticize myself, I don't judge myself, I don't hate myself. I accept myself and love myself as I am, because I am this spiritual being. And then I see everybody else as the beautiful spiritual light everybody else is. And because I see everyone as the beautiful spiritual light each and every one of us is, I do not judge, I do not criticize, I do not condemn. I accept you exactly as you are. I do not try and make anyone do something to please me. I do not say, I love you if you do this or do that or do something else. That is manipulation. And manipulation has nothing to do with unconditional love. And furthermore, unconditional love for your children means that you allow them to fly freely, to allow their souls to fly freely, to learn their own lessons in life. You don't hold on to them. Unconditional love is not holding on to anyone. Unconditional love is letting them go to fly freely as their own individual soul needs to fly. Letting them choose their own path in life, allowing them learn their own lessons without you interfering. That is unconditional love.
Anne-Marie has sent in a question here about the nature of healing, and this is obviously something that you and I have in common. Eileen, we both work within healing regimens. Now, the nature of healing as it is, as I understand it, Eileen, is a balancing of energy of the body. And when one is going about healing, one is balancing that energy. We're interacting with the energy of the body from the chakras and the energetic systems and the aura and all those sorts of things. And when we do that, we bring positive energy to negative energy. And hopefully at that point we're looking at the trauma that the individual people have experienced, and we're lifting a lot of that negative energy out and putting positive energy in.
Next question I've got here concerns the music of the spheres. When I talk about music, what do I mean? Well, if you go into YouTube and Google NASA and Google music of the spheres, you'll see exactly what I mean. It came from Pythagoras, the ancient Greek philosopher, and many centuries before Jesus, the supposed life of Jesus. He taught that the spheres, the planets, in their movement around the sun, all create a very melodious sound. Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, they all create a different individual sound. And all the sounds together go into the great cosmic orchestra. Now, go into Google and you'll hear it. And leave Earth until the last. And you will see that as all the other ones are very harmonious, a very harmonious note, come to Earth and you'll see Earth is a wee bit wobbly. Earth is not exactly what you would call a harmonious note, which means that we are not, as a planet here, we are not in harmony with the other planets that are revolving around us. And it makes me wonder, if we ever do, as human beings, as the human race, if we ever come to inhabit or to live on another planet, will we destroy the harmony of that planet in the same way as we are destroying the harmony of the planet we're living on at present? Because definitely, when you listen to those sounds that NASA has recorded, you will definitely hear that our planet Earth is not in tune or is not in harmony the way the other planets are.
Would you say for that then, Eileen, that that harmonic resonance is present in us?
That harmonic resonance is present in us, yes, and we each have a tone, a resonating sound that keeps us in balance. Same as the energy around us must be kept. Everything is balanced. At the moment, we are not in balance. That's the point I'm making. Our planet is not in harmony with the rest of the cosmic orchestra, unfortunately.
Michael from Belfast has sent in a question about what we talked about, one of the shamanic staples, soul retrieval. And he wanted to know what is soul retrieval. And soul retrieval basically is looking at the trauma that people have experienced in their lives. It could be physical, could be psychological, could be emotional. And when soul retrieval happens, what you're doing is bringing back the vital essence of the person involved. When soul loss happens as a result of trauma, you lose a piece of your soul. And that piece goes to that area within the spirit world that's inhabited by the spirit guides and all our helping spirits. The shamanic practitioner at that time journeys off and collects those pieces relevant to that individual person with the help of their spirit guide, their soul retrieval spirit guide. and brings back those pieces and reintegrates them into the person, bringing that person back to the state that they were in prior to the trauma. It's a very beautiful healing method and has miraculous results.
The last question I have here deals with the traumatic world in which we live at the moment. And people are asking why, if there is a God, why is there so much suffering and pain in the world? Well, we dealt with that earlier on, Declan. We said that we have free will. We are the ones who've created the pain and the suffering in this world, not God. And our free will is sacrosanct. And no God, no angel, no higher being can interfere with our free will. And at the moment, yes, there's a lot of scaremongering going on in the world at the moment. The earth, it's nothing bad. The earth, what's happening here in our dimension is very simply, we are going through an enormous shift in consciousness. Our vibration as a planet here is being raised. And we can expect to have repercussions from that. We can expect to feel various symptoms in our body as our bodies adjust to that higher vibration frequency. That's all that's happening. Our planet is just simply ascending to a higher spiritual vibration frequency. And we can either go with it or we can refuse to go with it. If we refuse to go with it, that means we're going to make ourselves more out of balance. But it's all under divine control. It's all happening as it should. Everything is as it should be. We are all where we should be. It is nothing to be feared. It is not to be worried about. It is all part of the divine plan for the ascension of us all back to the source from which we originated.
I think I see it very clearly, Eileen, in that we live in a blame culture and we want to blame other people. We want to blame God. We want to blame the church. We want to blame our governments. If we took individual responsibility for our actions, for our thoughts, and worked from the basis of unconditional love, as you spoke about earlier, this world would completely transform.
Yes. And it starts with each one of us, Declan. It's not going to be a big revolution where the whole world is going to be transformed. It starts with me. I must start with me. I see myself as unconditional love. I send unconditional love to you. You see yourself the same, and it goes from person to person to person. It's not going to be a big traumatic, a big world revolution. That's never going to happen. You're never going to change the world that way. It's going to go from person to person to person through the thoughts that we send out there. And the responsibility we take for those thoughts. We can see the world as a wonderful, beautiful place, or we can see it as a traumatic, painful experience. What we see is what we have sent out. We project our own reality. The glass is either half full or the glass is half empty. We have a choice as to how we see that. But it starts with each one of us. I'm responsible for the world I create, for the world I see. That's my responsibility.
I would completely agree with that, Eileen, and one of the things that strikes me about what you said there is that some of the ancient prophecies from all over the world have said that this will be the age of awakening, and there was such a buzz at 2012 about the world changing. And it has changed, but it has not changed in the way that was expected, the dramatic changes. I think, as you say, it happens person to person, and that's how spirituality evolves.
It's all about subtle energies, and each one of us feeling the subtle energies that we are able to feel at any particular time. We're not all at the same stage on our spiritual path. Each one of us is individual, each one of us is at a different stage. And we all take from all of this exactly what we need and only what we are able to take. But the world is a magnificent, wonderful place. And to be alive and to be present and to feel the miracle of the physical body, being able to see and hear and touch and feel, that's a miracle, that's wonderful. And rather than see this world as being somewhere we've got to suffer and be painful and we have to suffer to get to God, that's not, we're meant to enjoy life. Life is a gift. And the present, that's why it's called the present. It is a present, it's a gift. Now when I give you a gift, Declan, if you don't appreciate it, I will not be giving you another one. So, we appreciate the gift of life, and life is a wonderful, wonderful, amazing experience. All we've got to do is open our eyes and open our ears and listen and see, and appreciate the nature around us and the natural living forces that are around us.
That's a beautiful message, Eileen. I think it's one of the things when we first started this series that we both wanted to get across. That this is a beautiful, beautiful process, and this earth, this existence, this lifetime could be beautiful
Yes.
if we chose it. I'd like to say that we really appreciate everyone who's tuned in and everyone who's sent in questions and whatever. And we hope that you found this stimulating and hopefully a little bit enlightening. You can contact myself or Eileen at any time on the emails and website that comes up after this video. And I would just like to say thank you and namaste.
Thank you for watching, and namaste.